Mamba out.
Drippin', saucy, yeah, bitch, I do this often. My bitch is bad, she always in office. Don't got a tags on running my body. Can't see the pads, I'm living too fast. With 20 my dash, I'm up, but I lost him. He wanna brag, I did his bag and took what he had. Don't care what it cost him. Then he broke, he turned to a hoe. I seen him before, the shit get exhausted. Ran on a hoe, I wanna be known, I snatched my soul. You Randy Moss, already been broke.
What's up, everybody? We're Sports now with Darius and Aiden, and today we are doing our quarterback Mount Rushmore. Since everybody else wants to be throwing out their Mount Rushmores now that it's not NFL season anymore, and people feel the need to do some craziness, we thought we'd give you our 2 cents. So, without further ado, let me give you our honorable mentions. Our honorable mentions are Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Roger Staubach, Drew Brees, and Johnny Unitas. All right. Now, without further ado, let Darius start you off here.
Now, Aiden, obviously, there are 4 people on Mount Rushmore. And, of course, that first spot goes to the undisputed GOAT, Aiden. You learned that the hard way, especially in this past year's Super Bowl. The undisputed GOAT, no argument at all. The greatest to ever do it. The 14-time Pro Bowl, 7-time Super Bowl champion, a 3-time MVP, multiple-time All-Pro. He should be inducted into the Hall of Fame today, not a couple years after retiring. He should be inducted into the Hall of Fame today. We are talking about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Tom Brady, TB12, Touchdown Tom, Combat Kid.
You don't have to read all his nicknames.
I'm just saying, bro.
You don't have to read all his nicknames.
The GOAT, Aiden. We all know how magnificent he was this past season. We didn't let the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl this past season after Jameis 30 for 30 Winston pretty much turned the Buccaneers into a dumpster fire ever since the rookie season. Tom Brady has a 230-69 record as the NFL QB, passed over 79,000 yards. I believe he leads in NFL touchdowns, only over Drew Brees in NFL history. The GOAT, no argument at all. Second on the list, Aiden, I know you may have a little controversy about this, but Joe Montana. So we talking about Joe Cool, a person who has a 117-47 record as a quarterback, an 8-time Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer, a 4-time Super Bowl champion, a 2-time MVP, and before Tom Brady, to multiple people across the sports world, was considered the GOAT. That was before Tom Brady. Before Tom Brady, Joe Montana was considered the GOAT. And he has a 63% completion percentage, has thrown over 40,000 yards throughout his NFL career, around 300 touchdowns in his NFL career. Joe Montana takes my second slot on my Mount Rushmore NFL QBs. Number 3 on the list, my guy, I believe the funniest guy in the NFL besides Chad Ochocinco. We're talking about the Sheriff, Peyton Manning. Another Hall of Famer. Congratulations to him. A 14-time Pro Bowl, a 7-time All-Pro, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a 5-time MVP. He made the All-2000s team. He was the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He was the Offensive Player of the Year. Pretty much had the best season, I believe, one of the best seasons as a quarterback. I believe that was like back in 2013. I believe that was his first season in Denver. But 186-79 QB record, around 66% completion percentage. The Sheriff definitely has number 3 slot on my list. No argument at all. Peyton Manning takes number 3. And Aiden, a lot of controversy. It was a lot of controversy for me. It was a lot of dilemma at this number 4 spot. My final slot on my Mount Rushmore NFL QBs, because I had to go through a list of phenomenal quarterbacks that I know and love. You go through the list of Steve Young and Dan Marino and John Elway, my God, Captain America and Roger Staubach, and don't forget about Drew Brees, the recently retired Drew Brees at that. And you go through all these other quarterbacks throughout the course of NFL history, and I only have one other QB to put on my list on this Mount Rushmore. who there are only 4 slots, and I filled in 3 undisputedly. Aiden, this number 4 slot has to go to that bad man, A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers. And based on this past season, the way he performed all season long, even though he fell short of Super Bowl glory, because of the GOAT Tom Brady again, racking up his 3rd MVP. Aaron Rodgers, 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. Only a 1-time Super Bowl champion, but, to some, titles don't matter. You look at him, Aiden, you consider him the most accurate quarterback in NFL history. This past season, threw for almost 50 touchdowns. He only threw for 5 interceptions. As an NFL QB, a 126, 63, and 1 record. Has thrown over 50,000 yards throughout the course of his illustrious career. Has thrown close to 450 touchdowns throughout his career. Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, takes my last slot on my Mount Rushmore NFL QB. So to go through that list one more time: Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, and finally Aaron Rodgers, that bad man. With all due respect, I know and love all those honorable mentions. I just couldn't fit you into the list, but those are my 4 QBs on my Mount Rushmore. Those are my 4 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Aiden, you have the floor.
All right, to start off my list, I'm of course going to start off with my favorite QB of all time, Peyton, the Sheriff Manning, man. Peyton Manning, most MVPs all time, finished his career as the leader in passing yards and almost the leader in passing TDs, man. He has had some of the most phenomenal seasons ever. Quarterback at any age. He had one of the great seasons in 2013. He had one of the great Super Bowl runs, right? He fell to one of our honorable mentions, Drew Brees, in the Super Bowl, but bounced back with Denver. Slot number 2. We'll be going to TB12. Of course, as much as I have to hate him, I have to love him too. TB12, Mr. Tom Brady, everybody, is, yes, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. The player with the most Super Bowls ever. A 3-time MVP. I mean, I'm one of my other Mount Rushmore candidates is already a 3-time MVP and probably might have a chance to surpass even Manning. You never know. But with my next slot, I'm going to have to throw it back. It's not Joe Cool, but instead it's Mr. John Elway. John Elway, the greatest player in Denver Broncos franchise history. Can't draft a quarterback. I mean, he was an amazing quarterback himself. Can't draft a quarterback to save his life. Still a phenomenal player and a phenomenal quarterback. Now, what came down to my discrepancy between Joe Montana and John Elway? Joe Montana has more MVPs. Joe Montana stats sometime were a little bit better. I don't know. They weren't 2 quarterbacks in the passing era. Joe Montana was an 80s quarterback, early 90s quarterback. John Elway blossomed in the 80s and sort of won towards the later years of his career. It all comes down to prestige. Prestige. John Elway, ladies and gentlemen, had an amazing season. He is higher up on the stats than Joe Montana, in both TDs and passing yards. Again, both of them didn't really exist in the passing era. Again, John Elway, to win his 2 Super Bowls, won them on the back of Terrell Davis. Yet still, I'm going to put John Elway over Joe Montana. I know I'm going to get some hate in the comments for that. My last and final quarterback me and Darius have in common is that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, of course, my most accurate quarterback in NFL history. He, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna call it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, I predict Aaron Rodgers to pass a couple people, and he will be top 3 in passing yards in his career, maybe even number 1. He will be top 3 in passing touchdowns to end his career, maybe number 1. He will be number 1 in completion percentage at the end of his career. He will be number 1 in touchdown to TD rate, in TD to INT ratio at the end of his career. That is my bold prediction. He will give Peyton Manning a run for his money and win maybe another MVP. To cap off his, no doubt, Hall of Fame career. That is the end of my Mount Rushmore. As you know, me and Darius left many different quarterbacks in the quarterback position off the list. We will, if you suggest, to do some variations of the list. Most athletic quarterbacks of all time, most accurate quarterbacks of all time, strongest quarterbacks of all time, fastest quarterbacks of all time. You let us know down in the comments below. But without further ado, this has been the end of Sports Now with Darius and Aiden. That's Darius Adams. I'm Aiden Munson, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace. Peace, God.